Okay, so I'm making this review because I just got this. Hopefully you can see this Fotodiox Pro Fusion Adapter to adapt my 16 to 35 Canon f4 IS lens to my A7S camera. It's kind of an A7S in disguise. It's got this cage on it. But anyways, right when it came, I kind of had some problems, and it's only 99 bucks, but I'm kind of on a budget, and I've already spent this money on this other gear, and I sort of didn't look into all these problems, these defects with different adapters, and right as this one came in, I kind of realized how problematic adapters can be. But I made this review because I finally figured out a way to make this thing work on my A7S. And I know that a lot of these other adapters are having really big problems with the A7S in particular, maybe because of its video capabilities. Anyways, this is the brand new Fotodiox Fusion adapter. This just came out, so I was expecting it to work, and I'll just show you sort of what happens. One thing, when I first got the camera, I didn't have my camera updated, and it took a really long time to turn on pretty much every single time. Now I updated my camera to the 3.1 firmware, and it turns on a lot faster, which is really great. You can see out of the lens a lot faster. The connections happen a lot faster. But let me just show you something. So hopefully you can see this. When you go from I'm in manual mode right now. That's usually what I shoot at because you can take pictures and take video. But watch this. I'll take another picture, hit the video button, freeze. It just completely freezes on that last frame. And most of the time what I do is I turn off my camera, take out the battery, restart it, turn it back on, and then sometimes it hits the screen. Now it just hit it. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just completely short circuits. And if you want to, change from manual to shoot mode, it does the exact same thing. Freeze frame. What I just found the workaround is, which is kind of amazing actually, but I mean, doesn't really solve the problem, but still makes it so you can have all the function of your camera relatively quickly. What you do is, so I'll just take off the battery, completely reset the camera so it's all good to go. Sorry if this review is long. This is just, I cannot believe that they do not, that what I have on my computer right here is the email that I was sending back and forth with Fotodiox, and they just had nothing to say to me. They said pretty much, sorry, a lot of stuff is unavailable right now. We haven't tested it with everything. But it's like, if you're putting an adapter out on the market for $99, test it with some cameras and at least tell the Canon community, especially because it's, a lot of people are trying to connect their A7S or A7 line, alpha line to Canon lenses. And these are both like 2014, it should work amazingly for a brand new product. Anyways, it doesn't work, but this is something you can do. So, first time, imagine you're in a shoot, first time you turn on your camera, this is what you're gonna wanna do if you get this adapter. So I'll put it back to manual mode, just put the battery back in, so I turn it on, wait for it to turn on, and then what you do is, if you want to be able to switch all these different dials and press buttons and do whatever you need to do, you do something that I know will freeze the camera. So in manual mode, it'll take pictures, but if I press this, it'll freeze the camera. It's frozen. What you want to do is just wait for a while. Wait it out. It could, I don't know, sometimes I think it usually takes around 15 to 20 seconds, something like that, maybe longer. I might have to cut this video right here so it doesn't take up all your time waiting. So it's still frozen. Now, okay, it just came back. So now check this out. I'll go from manual to to video. Press video. It works. I go back to manual, take a picture, works. Take a video, it works. I'll even, so stabilizer on and off, I mean, that was working before. But I mean, all these functions are working now, which they didn't before if I didn't wait. So that's the downside, is once you turn your camera on and you do this and wait for it to turn on, you're going to have to keep it on throughout the shoot. So, I mean, I have these little cold shoe adapters, or little pieces, so I could put on like some kind of big battery with one of those like fake batteries that goes into your camera, the dummies. But that's pretty much the only option I have. I have to keep my camera on. So I hope Fotodiox sees this and I don't know, somehow changes the production of their next model quickly. So I know it's a kind of underwhelming solution and not a real solution really at all. But really why I made this review was because I think that a lot of people are using alpha cameras and need to put on, I mean, there's just so many reasons to get Canon glass and the EF mount. And we really need to have Canon glass, because also there's just not enough Sony glass. And the Sony glass that is available is really, really expensive. It's an extra $300 for the exact same lens, more than this one, at very minimum. And apparently there are a lot of like copies that aren't good, and I don't know, I've just read a bunch of stuff about that. But anyways, there should be an adapter that works well, that works every time, where you don't have to wait for anything. You just turn your camera on, it works. I obviously think that it's got to be tricky to figure out autofocusing, and but that's just not something that I'm worried about. And honestly, most of the people that are actually buying these things, they're not trying to get them for the amazing autofocus. Maybe Metabones, but I mean, this is like a pretty basic thing. Like maybe they even say like, we don't do autofocus because it's bullshit. You can't get autofocus, but at least you should be able to turn on your camera and do all kinds of stuff quickly. But you can't. Hopefully Fotodiox sees this. Feel free to comment, share information. Definitely let me know if there's like different adapters that I should look into. I just bought this thing 2 days ago. It's brand new. Yeah, let me know. That's it for the review.